So, um, I wanted always to talk about this, right? Because when there's a difference between the passion, like the perspective I had with trading when I was starting, and the current perspective after like making upon like 2 years into trading stuff, right? I came to understand though the strategy having a higher probability strategy, it's also a cool thing, but it is also like a numbers thing, right? Basically, I think right now I believe like trading. Most of the people would say like trading is about like strategy and then the mindset, but I also think it is more math, right? It is also math. Cause being true, like I don't know, like I think there's more than just risk management, right? Cause once I looked upon my data and the whole year, I would like I made like a load of cash and stuff, but I didn't like withdraw something, right? It was like money just went into like in or something, right? And yeah, I started like looking upon trading as I would say like it's a business or something, and I came to understand like it is pretty simple like to make it out in trading. It is pretty simple, and I think for me, I don't know if it is for everyone or something, but for me, I every time like I have an objective, I tend to be like more active and stuff. Like I tend to reach upon those instead. If I don't have an objective or something, I just trade, right? I just trade. Sometimes within that period of just trading, I end up doing shit stuff, right? But when I have an objective, I highly like focus upon like the system that will make me like reach upon that like that what that objective. So yeah, that's why I made this trading plan stuff, right? I think it's a better way to look upon trading rather than like wanting to make a lot of cash, right? So as you know, I'm living in Uganda, right? I live in Uganda, and in Uganda, like it is crazily simple to make it out in trading because I looked upon this. I looked upon this, and we like this is my plan, right? Risk management, a trading plan, like my trading business plan, like risk consists of risk management objectives, habits, and timing and areas and stuff, right? That stuff like I would focus upon. And for me, I believe like trading is more of this like trial and stuff, risk management, strategy, mindset. But in the heart of everything lies an objective, right? You align all this to reach upon your objective, right? So my goal, like when I started looking upon this, I asked myself like how much cash do I need like to be great, right? To feel great. And I reached upon like 2 millions a month. And for that 2 millions a month, it's just like $600. So with it like with a 10K and a 5K account which I had currently, it is just like 5%, all right? 5%, which is like 5% of both, it is like $750 times the 80% of the cash I receive, right? After like deducting like 20% and stuff. And that's cool. Like I don't know, it might sound crazy like to be like all I need is $600, but this side that's a lot of cash, right? I barely around my community, most of them like mostly it's around like just 1M and stuff. So if I can only make 5%, and that's 2M, it's already above like average and stuff, right? I can do a lot of shit. And then it takes me to what habits can I improve upon to achieve my targets: risk control, money management, performance tracking, morning preparation, and weekly and monthly objectives. Because for the monthly objective, I will just wake up and be like, I need this like this cash this percentage a month, right? I need to break it down like so that it is even more like less small, because the smaller it is, the more simple it is achievable, right? So, and risk upon risk income, like risk control, that's where you have like the maximum drawdown you can take, maximum a daily, maximum daily, weekly drawdown, what's possible winning streak, because you have to calculate that and put that into like accountabilities and stuff, right? And then a winning streak, a losing streak. For me, like this is just about like risk control. I didn't like calculate like my possible winning streaks or something, just calculating the risk side, right? So I know my risk side, like it is, I can simply like lose 2.5, like simply I can go into a losing streak and I can simply lose like 2.4%, and then it was possible winning streak, because for me it is 1.8, cause for me every after like three, if I lose three trades in the same week, I just stop and then trade for the next week after like mentally refreshing upon myself, right? If I lose like three trades within 1 week or something, I just stop, right? And then we have money management, right? Though I'm looking upon like 5%, but I can't use all that cash. Not currently. I can't use all that cash. So I use like 2.5. Like for my needs, I need like 2.5, right? 2.5, which is like $300 and something. Yeah, just so the 300 just helps me like in case, let me say, an emergency, like, and scaling up stuff, right? Because I will not be using like the same accounts over and over and over, because I have to scale up and stuff, right? Because for me, like I use the 50% like to reach upon my quarterly targets, because I have quarterly targets and then I have monthly targets. So quarterly targets aren't like numbers or something, are just stuff I would like to have within that quarter something. For example, let me say in quarter two I want to have like a 200 account, right? A 200K account. So I use this cash to reach upon that quarterly target, right? And then you can't just go, you can't just be like, I need that and need that, right? You need to track your performance. You need not just in numbers, but everything you do, right? Because for me, I know if I do everything correctly, if I like follow my setup, like my plan and stuff, 5% isn't like hard to say. Like it is simple, right? Because if I can just get like one single trade a week, right? Let me say one single trade a week by month end, I can like possibly like achieve that. But most of the times I take like 2 to 3 trades a week, right? And for me, like I calculated the most of the times I sometimes I take like zero loss within a week or something, and sometimes so yeah. So most of the times, like I looked upon myself and I'm like most of the times if I'm to like sometimes I take 2 3 trades. Best like mid-range scenario, it is most of the times around like 2 wins, 1 loss and stuff. But I also, as I have already calculated like my worst drawdown week or something like which is 1.8, but there's also possibility that I can win like 3.6, right? Some weeks I make like 3.6, some weeks there's a weeks I make even like 4.8, right? It isn't that I'm like I don't know how to explain, but mentally like it stress out that thing of feeling hard upon a single trade, because I have a target. I don't care what happens within this week or today. I'm just giving a shit about like what happens at the end of the month. And when I reach the end of the month, I'm not like, the main thing is about to make sure that I followed my plan and I managed risk, right? But being true, most of the times it comes out like sometimes I like it's less more, but not that like in draw down something, but most of the times it is either that or more, because like I know my when I know like my strategy, it's a bit with a high probability, right? So if I follow my sheet and stuff, like simply I can simply make like 5% a week, like 5% a month. So which taking like then comes to like the morning preparations and stuff, right? So morning preparations, I think it's more of a like a setup stuff, right? My setup stuff, like stuff I look upon. As I know, like for me, I think early in the morning, it is more like it's more. I think you are more fresh early in the morning, right? You can like you haven't been like that much into the markets and stuff because we all know what happens. Sometimes you get absorbed within the market and stuff, right? But so for me, what I do early in the morning, I mark out like I make my buyers, right? Most of the times coming to the day, like I coming to that day, I already know the buyers, right? I just wake up to confirm that buyers and stuff, and then mark out the key levels, what key levels I will be like using for that day and stuff, right? And then to like if I'm bullish, I want to know like what is the strongest asset for that day, right? Because for me, I trade within a trade and stuff, right? Because within that trade, coming to that like in the morning, I want to know like what asset is the strongest like within that trade for that day, right? Because if I'm bullish, I want to trade the strongest. If I'm like bearish, I want to trade the weakest and stuff, right? So basically that's it. And then weekly, monthly, like objective and stuff. I've talked about that. And for that, my target for my weekly targets around like 3.6 to like 1.8 weekly, right? That's my target. And monthly, it's 5% to 7% a month, right? And I think this is already enough. Just all I need it is just to scale up, right? I've seen a lot of dudes like blowing up and stuff because they wanted a lot. And right, so yeah, simply that, right? Simply that. Just I think trading becomes a bit simple because it's already hard, right? But it becomes like a bit simple if you like you cooperate in like a little bit of math, right? Because mostly you just need to understand like how much you actually need, right? Yeah, and to those like wanting to like to make $1 million within like 1 year and on 10 like honestly I don't know. Anyway, that's it, right? That's it.